It's time for this week's episode of Brandon Sports Talk, featuring in-depth interviews from those who are trending in the world of athletics. And now, here's the host of Brandon Sports Talk, Brandon Pate.
Welcome back to Brandon Sports Talk. In today's episode, I have the privilege to interview the Green Bay head volleyball coach, Abbey Sutherland. How are you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful. It's summer. Thank you.
That's wonderful. Can you talk about how you knew that you wanted to get into the college coaching?
It's hard to know. I just loved my experience. I played at St. Norbert College, which is Division III near Green Bay. And I just wanted to continue my journey. So I applied everywhere in the United States for a graduate assistant position. And I was fortunate enough to get the job offer at Southern Miss. So I moved down there without even seeing Mississippi, and I'm from Wisconsin. So that's definitely a major difference in weather and culture and everything. But I got to work under Ricky Ludes, and he won the gold medal. He played Pro Beach, 4 national championships at UCLA. And I loved my experience being a graduate assistant. So thankfully, I was elevated from GA to assistant, and then became head coach at the age of 27 at Southern Miss. And I've made my way back to Wisconsin, but I'm glad I'm not a Spanish teacher. I love Spanish, and I think coaching is, in a way, it's education, but I'm much happier in being at the college level and doing volleyball.
Of course, what was it like playing college volleyball for St. Norby?
I had a great time, and that's a goal of mine. Is my coach did a great job of making sure that we had a good experience, and so I wanted to continue. And it's hard to be a student athlete at times, and so of course, as coaches, we have standards, but when it's all said and done, I'm hoping that our players will want more. We always talk about, as a staff, leaving our players and our women wanting more. And so that's the goal.
Of course, as a player, what was it like playing in the NCAA tournament?
Well, I still wish we would have made it to the Sweet 16. We lost in 5, and that's back when I think you played to 30. And I think we lost like 17-15 in the 5th set. So I'm bummed we didn't make it to the 3rd round, but I should be proud of what we did and the run that we did have, because we lost, I think, 3 times in the regular season and ended up in the 1st round of the NCAA. So that was really memorable. But yeah, it's beyond playing in the NCAA tournament. Coaching in the NCAA tournament is absolutely so memorable. And so it's motivating for me to continue to get back there because it's such a wonderful experience.
How was it like, obviously, going to Southern Mississippi to become the assistant coach and then 6 years later become the head coach?
Well, I learned a lot from Ricky. He came from the University of Colorado as an assistant. And so it was his first head coaching job. And so I didn't really know much about coaching. I mean, you kind of learn on the fly. And so I got to see what he experienced being a first-time head coach and things that I would do differently, but he was really loyal to me. And so I learned so much from him in so many ways. So I'm really grateful for that. Made some lifetime friends down there. I'm glad I got outside my comfort zone. I studied abroad in Spain when I was a junior in college, and Costa Rica. And so traveling and experiencing something else besides Wisconsin was important to me. I didn't expect to be down there for about a decade, but I was really serious about my career. And so it was just something that I was really passionate about doing. I couldn't imagine doing anything else. So I didn't really think about missing home or things like that. It was just, I was living the dream as far as my job was concerned. it was really hard being a first-time head coach myself. It's difficult to explain to others what it's like, because you're always questioning yourself, and you might be ready, but you never quite feel ready in that first year. And even when you think you have all of the answers, like by my third year, I thought we had all of the answers, and we had the worst year record wise, and I was a lot more experienced. And it was really difficult getting the job after Ricky, after we had won the conference championship, because everyone looked at me as the assistant. So I had to somehow change the lens for them. I made so many mistakes, but I got through it, and I'm proud of myself for being resilient. And I feel like I'm still learning every single day, but I'm really grateful to be here at Green Bay with all the experience that I've had over the past almost 20 years of coaching.
Of course, what was that feeling like taking over that program at Southern Mississippi?
Well, I'm really grateful that we had, I had hired Amanda Berkeley, she's the head coach at Loyola, and she was really loyal. She and I are very good friends to this day. And if I didn't have her, I don't know how I would have gotten through it. Her sister coaches at Milwaukee, her name's Susie. So those are all other people I recommend talking to, really strong women in the field. And I just am so grateful that I had Amanda by my side to help me through the first couple of years of coaching. And then I left to go to Stevens Point. And thankfully, that was in July, so that's late. Amanda was able to get the interim head coaching job and earn the head coaching position after me at Southern Miss, and she did great things there. And now she's crushing it at Loyola.
What was it like to be one of the first two coaches at Southern Mississippi to have a winning record?
I think I was proud and happy, because Southern Miss didn't necessarily have a great tradition of winning, but it also, like, now that I look back, it means nothing, because you put on, if you have losing season, like, of course you're proud, but then you have to just like being even keel, because it's the same thing. When I had a lot of success at Stevens Point, I was still the same person, even if we had a really bad record. So staying, I guess, even keeled is important while having the good self-talk as a coach.
Of course, how is it like going to Stevens Point to become the head coach and making a deep run into the national tournament?
Well, I'm very close with my family, so I was excited to come back to Wisconsin. I wasn't sure. I played D3, then I was coaching D1 for almost 10 years. And so I wasn't crazy about going back to D3, but my mom had been diagnosed with early onset Alzheimer's, and I really felt like I needed to be home. And my dad played at Platteville. They're in the same conference as Stevens Point. And he said, "Abby, you can win a national championship at Stevens Point." And I just kind of was like, "Oh yeah, okay, Dad." And then all of a sudden, didn't really know what I was getting into, met incredible women who were dedicated and all about, being exemplary student athletes, and I had so much fun coaching them. So I'm really happy that I made that jump to D3, and I got to be closer to home to help with things that were going on with my mom. And I'll always have respect for Division III volleyball. It's very high level. And I learned a lot because I had to take on more responsibilities. There's not as many resources at Stevens Point, so there wasn't as much help as far as assistant coaching goes. Like, I was lucky to get Amber, who stayed on board with me. I'm now in her wedding. I will be a maid of honor in her wedding this August. But I had to teach. I had all these different responsibilities. I had learned how to teach basketball and tennis, and I love sports, but it was different. But I learned a lot about how to multitask and take on different responsibilities and be creative. And I think it ultimately prepared me to be here at Green Bay.
What was the 2014 season like at Stevens Point, going and winning and having a winning streak and going to the national championship?
Well, our women, I still stay in touch with a lot of alum from Stevens Point, and they'll never forget it. And I won't either. In 2013, it was magical, I would say, because we had no idea that we were going to make that deep of a run. They had never won past the first round. And we won the first round in 5 and then just went on a run and kept going. The 2014 year was still wonderful and magical, but that was something I had learned about, putting pressure on yourself as players and coaches, because we were returning a lot of the same squad. So it's like, oh my gosh, what if I don't do what we did last year? Which it's so hard to win in the NCAA tournament. And so I think we should have been even prouder of ourselves in the second time doing that. And of course we wanted to win a national championship, but making it to the Final Four again is pretty great. So just like looking at ourselves as people is important, rather than putting that pressure on yourself to continue to do what you think you need to do, and continuing to enjoy the process rather than, just being stressed out about it is something I learned, but it's really hard to do.
Of course, how did it feel to go to Green Bay to become the head coach and get back at the D1 level?
Well, I was interested in the Green Bay job more than just the one time I was hired. So I had applied actually a couple times for the position, and thankfully my old boss, Charles, who's now at Akron, saw my resume, saw I had Division I experience and that we had experienced a lot of success at Stevens Point, and took a chance on me. And I'm forever grateful for that. I miss Division I because you can have more interaction with the women and the student athletes. It's more year round. You get a spring season that's full. And so I am just so happy to be here and do more that's associated with volleyball, rather than some of like the teaching or other things that we had at Stevens Point. So I'm running with it here. I'm really happy. Green Bay is like home to me. I have a lot of family that live here. And I've also been named the senior woman administrator. So I feel like I'm working to make my mark at Green Bay, and I'm just excited for the future here.
Of course, can you talk about the culture that you started to build for Green Bay volleyball?
Yes. So in 2018, I got the job, and I was fortunate to inherit a great group of talented women who knew how to play volleyball. It was just about me taking a different approach. Like, of course, we tried different things on the volleyball court, but it was approach of really focusing on team chemistry, like being accepting of everyone. We talked about like, we want everyone to feel like they belong rather than people try to fit in. And so we put a major emphasis on team chemistry in the first season. And it took a while for them to buy in, because I think I'm more of a patient coach. I'm more of like, and of course, I think the whole coaching culture is going away from punishing and making them run laps and all of that. So we have high standards, but I took a way different approach. And I would say mid-season, it started to click, where it was like, okay, let's treat each other in the best way possible. Let's have difficult conversations, put everything up on the table, and work through this, and believe that no matter what, we can love each other through the good and the bad. And it's important that I'm a consistent leader throughout all of that. And so, oh, my lights turned off. And so by the end of season, we had found a way to peak, and the whole team was bought in and saw the importance and how it gives back if you work on that team chemistry, and how it is that much more joyful.
What was that season like, your first season in 2018, taking that team to the national championship run in the NCAA tournament?
I was really excited for our team to experience that, because I had coached in, quite a few NCAA games at Stevens Point. And I told them, I said, this is going to be an experience you'll never forget. And we were very close to taking a set off Wisconsin. I'll still remember that. Like, I think we lost 25-27 in the second set. And so I wish we would have gotten that set. But our players were proud of how they performed. And I think that people respected Green Bay after watching us play against Wisconsin. And so we held our heads up high.
What's that like, obviously getting to put that program on the map and going back to the NCAA tournament since being gone from it since 2003?
It was really neat. We broke quite a few records in 2018 and 2019. And so it makes you want more. But also I had learned from 2013 and 2014, if you do really well, you put that pressure on yourself and it's like, we have to do it again. And there's less enjoyment in the process. And so my big thing was being more aware of that in 2019 to continue to enjoy ourselves, but while still having high standards.
Who are some of the teams that you face in your conference each week?
So we play, I would say, the closest to us is Milwaukee. So we play Milwaukee. UIC has just left the conference. Cleveland State, Oakland. There's a lot of teams in the Eastern time zone. So we're kind of an outlier in the Horizon League. Wright State is a tough team. There's Northern Kentucky has been very good. In 2019, there were 3 teams from our conference that made the NCAA tournament, which is, I think 3, which is unheard of. And so we were named one of the first 4 out, which isn't something that you love to see, but it's really cool that we were considered for an at-large bid in 2019.
Of course, can you talk about the game day and what that is like at Green Bay?
Yes. This past year, I like to think of myself as a coach who's ever evolving, trying new things. We're really into mindfulness now and meditation. We work with mental performance consultants. So we do visualizing and meditation on game day. We work to do that beyond game day so that they know how to do it. Visualizing themselves doing great things. It's been said or proven that even if you practice in your mind and visualize 10 to 15 minutes a day, that can be up to 60 minutes of real practice. So it's a way to keep your bodies fresh as well. We've got a pregame meal, and during our pregame meal, I always work to start a conversation for us to have, fun things to talk about. Or like, for example, on senior day, I have all of our players give our seniors love. Like, why do you look up to the senior? So meaningful conversations and kind of feeling good about our team is the focus during the team meal. We always watch video. Corey, our assistant coach, associate head coach, puts together a great scouting report, and we don't want to overdo it. You don't want to give them too much information, but we watch video and we give them some key points. And then our goal as coaches is to make them feel bulletproof for game time and really pump them up, because that's what they deserve. They deserve to hopefully feel as good as they can from us because they're stressed enough themselves.
Of course, what is that feeling like for you to obviously on game day be in the driver's seat and be the head coach and lead the team to a victory?
I have been doing it for a while, so I still get nervous. I still, for a while, I would overwatch hours and hours of video. This past year, I kind of surrendered more to the unknown. I talk about just surrendering and saying we're ready and trusting myself and trusting my gut. And Katie, our new assistant, does a good job of making me feel that way. She said, Abby, you know, like you get good feelings and like trust your gut with this. You've been doing this for a while. So I just work on my self-talk as well, and believing in myself, because for a while I wanted to win so badly. And frankly, I got used to winning so much, especially at Stephen's Point, that it was almost, it was bad for my mental health. I put way too much pressure on myself. And so now I really want to win, but I'm focusing more on enjoying it and just working to pump up our players and make them smile and have them excited to go out and play, because I know how to lead the team, and just trusting that goal and enjoying it.
What does the recruitment process look like for those prospective student athletes looking to become college volleyball players?
It's a lot of work. I think finding the right fit is what's most important. So we say often within our team and our environment that comparison is the thief of joy. And so working to focus on your own journey and find the right fit. So for us and for Green Bay, if you're not willing to have deep conversations, if you're not willing to be vulnerable, if you're not willing to learn and change, it's going to be hard for you to be part of Green Bay volleyball. And so I believe in all of our players, and I think it's important that I'm their engineer of belief. But if they don't have that element, or if they're not trying to make an effort for that, it's going to be hard to find a way to, feel like you're in a good place with Green Bay volleyball, because we're more about the people, we're more about the experience, and I want to make our players the best people they can be, and as a result they'd be the best players. And so we feel that out when we talk with recruits. And I believe in us being mid-majors, especially. There's going to be a lot more challenges with the separation of Power 5 with mid-majors. We have to develop players. And so I want to find those players that we think can develop into something special.
Of course, what does a typical visit look like at Green Bay for volleyball?
Well, we like to give them a lot of time with our team, just because that's where they're going to be spending the majority of their time with. I work to ask good questions to learn more about our potential recruits. Photo shoots are definitely a hot item these days. We got to, put them in Green Bay gear and have them take some photo shoots. Green Bay is an up and coming community, so there's so many different things to do. We've got Titletown, downtown is really growing. And so just showing them what a fun community Green Bay is, that beyond just playing volleyball, there's different ways that they can get involved and be part of the community, is a goal of ours.
Of course, as head coach, what is that feeling like, seeing them during the photo shoots get to put on that jersey and fall in love with the Green Bay colors?
I always hope that they fall in love with the Green Bay colors and they get excited for it. I think it's really neat that they have those pictures that we can send afterwards, but then also communicating to them it's more than the bells and whistles wherever you go, because there is a lot of hard work behind the scenes. So make them really, really excited about Green Bay, but also, you don't want to lie to them. You want to let them know this is what's happening. Like, this is what you're getting into, because there is a lot of commitment for Division I volleyball. So it's a balance of hopefully us being honest with them and them knowing that they need to put in a lot of time, but then being so excited to be a Phoenix.
Of course, what advice would you give future high school athletes looking to become college athletes?
Be learners, be coachable, go out of your way to have conversations. I sometimes forget, even on recruiting visits, that I might be hard, like intimidating, or they might be nervous talking with me, but go out of your way to get to know us, even at camps, or send as many emails as possible, just so that we know who you are. It's just, for me, I notice people who go out of their way to try and talk with us and show them what they're like, so that we can get to know them, because essentially we do want to get to know the recruits.
What are some of your future plans for the Green Bay volleyball program?
Well, we just got back from a foreign tour. We were in Italy. So we were supposed to go in 2020, and thankfully we just kept on track and got to go in 2022, 4 years, giving our players that experience of seeing what the world is like while also getting to compete. We'll go on another one of those tours in 4 years. I'm, hoping to make more of an impact in the community. I've joined the Green Bay Optimist Club. I attend monthly leadership seminars at Initiative One, which is downtown. So I often use the phrase, be out and about in the community. And that's a goal of mine, is increase ticket sales. I think Green Bay is a really special community. We've always been high in our conference, but I think we can even up it. Like, we can do season tickets, and we can eventually charge more. We can get donors who are on board with, being part of the vision of what we want within our program and within our team. I'm just really grateful to be here in Green Bay, because it feels like home, and I want the community to know about Green Bay volleyball.
Of course, what was that like, obviously getting to play volleyball internationally and go to Italy to play?
Well, Italy is very good at volleyball. So the first team we played was close to pro, and they had players ranging from like 26 to 40. So they were very experienced, and we had to play them, I think, the second day we got there. So our players still had jet lag. They were tired. So just like working to go through some tough times with, even though you're tired, but also just embracing that incredible experience and see what the other like. It's more than just volleyball. It's like exchanging gifts and interacting with the Italian women and learning from them, because they would always give presents and we'd give them Green Bay volleyball t-shirts. And we played 3 times. So each time we learned something, and we played our best volleyball in our 3rd batch. But beyond that, it was the best team bonding experience you could have imagined.
Of course, as head coach, what was that like, giving your players a little taste of the professional volleyball internationally, playing in Italy?
I know some of our women are interested in playing professionally, so that gives them a feel for like what a gym would look like there, and what it would even mean to try and play overseas. Because professional volleyball, we're working to grow in the United States, but if you want opportunities, it is overseas a lot. So them just getting to see what it looks like, I think helps them decide if that's something they would want to pursue or not.
What advice would you give those college athletes that are looking to pursue the professional volleyball route, whether it's playing for the U.S. Athletes Unlimited or even going overseas?
Well, become an elite passer. Serve receive is really, really important. And just continue to be a learner. The sky's the limit. I mean, Shannon, one of our players, she'll be in her 5th year, using her last COVID year this year. And she said she's always wanted to play professionally. And the growth that she's made from her 1st year to now her 5th year has been really fulfilling for me to see. And I see her being able to be a professional player. It's just about me helping her pursue her dreams.
What advice would you give future college coaches looking to become head coaches?
Get lots of experience, get outside your comfort zone, go and meet a ton of other coaches, go coach camps in the summer, introduce yourself to people that you know, like the bigger coaches. Just go up and introduce yourself and work to network and find good mentors.
That's great advice. Where can my listeners find you at on social media, along with the Green Bay volleyball program at?
So Green Bay is GB Phoenix VB. On Instagram, we're pretty involved. We have, I think, about 36,000 followers. So we're doing well for a mid-major there. And then you can find me on Twitter and Instagram, Coach Abbey Lee, ABBEYLEE.
Thank you again, Coach Abbey Sutherland, for your interview, and best of luck in your future as you build the Green Bay volleyball program.
It's really neat you reached out, Brandon. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you. You can find Brandon Sports Talk on Facebook at Brandon Sports Talk, Instagram at Brandon Sports Talk, Twitter at Talk_Brandon, and you can find me on YouTube at Brandon Sports Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you again, Coach Abbey Sutherland, for your interview, and best of luck in your future.
Thank you.
You've been watching Brandon Sports Talk. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to Brandon Sports Talk on social media and on YouTube.